Good News and the Peaceful Program, coming to you from the hearts and minds of people sincerely interested in helping you attain that most desirable state, peace of mind. Good News, the Peaceful Program, projects no bad news, no ominous predictions, no remorseful reverie, no worrisome speculation, but seeks only to cheer and encourage by bringing to mind, through music, song, and commentary, a greater realization of those eternal values that make for peaceful lives in a peaceful world.
Incidentally, nothing is more conducive to peace of mind than the pleasant conviction that you have received the utmost value for your money. When buying a product, the knowledge that it is the best makes for satisfaction, a sense of security, and pride of ownership. So try your best to buy the best. Remember, the company that deals only in supreme values is a company sincerely interested in human values. Such a company is the one sponsoring Good News, the Peaceful Program.
In keeping with our theme that the peaceful life is most desirable, the laughing voice of Al Marino, the romantic baritone, is heard singing, "Let the Rest of the World Go By."
With someone like you, a pal good and true, I'd like to leave it all behind and go and find some place that's known to God alone. Just a spot to call our own. We'll find perfect peace where joys never cease. Out there beneath a kindly sky, we'll build a sweet little nest somewhere in the west, and let the rest of the world go by.
And now for the news, good news. In a world living in the shadow of fear, disorganized by war and rumors of war, shaken by crime, disaster, and despair, the following items, culled from America's enlightening press, shines forth, accentuating the essential integrity and nobility of the human race. In Ohio, a collie dog was solemnly presented with a high school diploma. In California, the state legislature has introduced a bill to lower the price of haircuts for bald-headed men. Gifts from all over the country, ranging from fuzzy dolls to a whiskey bottle equipped with a nipple, have been sent to Mr. and Mrs. B.O. Plenty, who became the proud parents of a baby girl. Mrs. B.O. is better known as Gravel Gertie. But the weatherman says the sun will shine tomorrow, and Al Marino, the romantic baritone, is waiting to sing "The World is Waiting for the Sunrise."
Down in the lazy west rides the moon, warm as a night in June. Stars shimmering soft in a bed of blue, while I am calling and calling you hour, greet our trysting hour. Dear one, the world is waiting for the sunrise. Every rose is heavy with dew. The thrush on high, his sleepy mate is calling, and my heart is calling you.
And now, more news. Good news.
Yes, good news indeed. The sponsors of Good News, the Peaceful Program, in accord with President Truman's recent price adjustment recommendation, are making it possible, through reduced prices, for you to attain that most desirable peace of mind that results from satisfactory purchase of a guaranteed, dependable product at a reasonable price. Yes, there is a special reward in trying your best and buying the best. And from the sponsors of this program, you can expect only the best.
Trite but true. Al Marino, the romantic baritone, expresses it so much better as he sings, "When I've Done My Best."
When I've done the best I can, and my friends don't understand, then my Lord will carry me home. After I have done my best, I will find a peaceful rest. Then my Lord will carry me home. Many griefs and sorrows I have witnessed on my part. On the bright tomorrow, He will mend my wounded heart. When I've done the best for thee, then the best comes back to me, and my Lord will carry me
Good News, the Peaceful Program, with Al Marino, the romantic baritone, accompanied by Morton Thal at the organ, is heard over this station every night at 8 o'clock. Good News and commentary by Michael King. Your announcer is Jack Lewis.
Send in your good news item to the station to which you are listening.
Good news from us. And good night to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 years ago, a man living in Moscow, Idaho, made a statement that startled the whole world. came out with the news of an amazing discovery, an amazing philosophy. It was so revolutionary that, at first, people were staggered by it. Then the illuminating truth of it burst upon them. In the course of 1 year, that discovery, coming from a little city up in Idaho, was being discussed in every civilized country on the globe, was securing thousands and tens of thousands of followers, was changing people's entire lives from unhappiness and failure to happiness and success. The man who made this discovery, who evolved this new philosophy, is Dr. Frank B. Robinson. And in just a few moments, you will hear his voice. Hear him give transcribed flashes of truth that will be a revelation to you. First, however, your guide will take you to Dr. Robinson's home. Travel with us to the source of a new peace, to a haven in Moscow, Idaho.
We are now in Moscow, Idaho. The journey has not seemed long despite our anticipating. Can we who come carrying nothing but doubt and fear and pain find at last peace and comfort? There, high on that hill, is the home of Dr. Frank B. Robinson. It stands as a symbol of what we seek. With windows flung wide and its open door, this home seems to beckon us on into a new hope. Do you hear that music? The very power of its tone sends forth a hymn of thanksgiving. There sits Dr. Robinson at the console of his magnificent organ. Somehow, courage is reflected from every sunlit corner in this home. Dr. Robinson, we have come to you that you may light our darkened way. Tell us how to see that light, Doctor, how to understand and discover miracles. What are miracles?
There are no such things as miracles. What we call miracles are nothing but the God law in actual operation.
The God law?
I can explain that best by reading you a letter from a student of Psychiana who lives in Granby, Connecticut. An excerpt from his letter states, "Dear Doctor, health is what I want the most, all other things being secondary and to be had later. Once I have regained my strength, I am certain I shall step out to success."
And you say that it will not take a miracle to help this man regain his health so that he can step out to success.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you not think that the power which brought life to this earth in the first place, and which moment by moment sustains it, cannot sustain that life in perfect physical health? Why should it take a miracle to do that? A miracle is something that reverses the natural processes.
Of course, that is true, isn't it?
Now, as a matter of fact, the invisible life impulse which manifests in your physical body is the same life as God. But don't misunderstand me. I don't mean that your physical body is God, but I do mean that the invisible life impulse which gives you the power to think, to work, to eat, or to exist, that invisible life is God.
Then if that is a fact, all the wisdom and intelligent power of the God realm is at our disposal here and now.
Exactly, here and now. And because the motivating spirit in your material body is the life of God.
Once that fact is realized thoroughly, I can understand how it happens that you receive so many thousands of letters from thankful persons, Doctor.
Thousands of letters and telegrams, radiograms, call for help come to me from all over the world. Here's an example of what transpires. You see this wire?
Yes.
Well, read it.
The power of the God law has worked. May God bless you.
Now, in this particular case, a mother had a request. I assured this good mother that the God law could and would respond to her request, and it did. Now, here's a letter from a friend who writes as follows. Dear Dr. Robinson, I feel so grateful to you. I'm improving in every way. I'm looking better, feeling better, and actually am better. I get up in the morning after having had a wonderful night, a good sound sleep, and I have a flush on my cheeks, and I carry it with me through the entire day. I can't tell you what thrilling experiences have come to me through my knowledge at last of the power of the God law.
I noticed another letter on your desk here, Doctor. A man who says, I want you to know that I have regained my health so that I feel 20 years younger.
Yes, that man lives in Cordell, Oklahoma. He and his wife have written to me many times that they are at last on the road to health and happiness. But I don't want you to get the impression that Psychiana is any divine healing movement. It is nothing of the sort. You see, when these letters telling of such amazing results first began to come to me, inside of 30 days from the date on which I first released this teaching, I was very much surprised at the number of persons stating that their health had been restored.
Well, how do you explain that?
I can only explain it by virtue of the fact that this must be only one of the many phases of the operations of the God law.
But, Dr. Robinson, when one is really ill...
Then get the best medical advice you can and follow it. Do that because the knowledge of medicine itself comes from the invisible realm of the Spirit of God. If the remedy for an illness already exists, how foolish you would be to expect the God law to do something it has already done.
In other words, you refer, for instance, to the antitoxins that are now available.
Precisely. The men who discovered the various antitoxins that today exist received their knowledge from the power of the great God law. There can be no question at all about that. All knowledge in its final analysis comes from the power of the great creative life spirit, which is God.
And that would apply in the realm of engineering and science as well as medicine, I suppose.
Right. In other words, the power of the God law provided through the illumined mind of some medical man the fact that diphtheria could be cured by the application of an antitoxin. Now, every discovery, whether it be in the field of science or medicine or any other field, comes directly from this great source of all intelligence, which is God.
If, however, cases exist which medical science does not understand or which they admit they cannot handle.
Yes, well then you can go direct to the realm of the God law itself, and from there secure whatever you so much desire. But you would be making all kinds of a mistake to expect God to manifest the healing in you if he had already opened up the way and placed the remedy at your disposal through competent, qualified medical practitioners.
And I suppose there are many cases, Dr. Robinson, where it is not the body which is broken, but the spirit.
Well, I've had many letters telling me of cases like that. One woman wrote to me that her surgeon told her her spirit was broken, and that was the one reason why she was suffering physical disability.
Well, how would you explain that, one spirit being broken?
Well, I say that cannot happen. When you talk about one's spirit being broken, you're talking about the life impulse, the spirit of the great God law. And, of course, that cannot be broken, can it?
No.
All right, now look at it this way. Man is a combination of the physical body with the life spirit, which is God. This life spirit, which is God, first brought life to this planet.
Well, does that include all life?
Yes, all life, both plant, animal, and human. As humans, you and I, and the rest of the world, moment by moment, derive our invisible life from the great source of all life, which is God. Or, as I call it, the life spirit.
I see.
All right. Now, it is the recognition of this fact which puts at our disposal all the power of the God realm. But never forget that the motivating impulse of your human body cannot die. It can never be broken.
Then what does happen in cases like this?
Well, what happens is just simply this. A sense of fear so completely dominates you, so completely permeates your entire life, that the present existence of the power of the great God law is absolutely forgotten.
Then that what happens when one doesn't know that a dynamic spiritual power does really exist here and now.
Yes, let me illustrate that fact, please. You go into a room which is absolutely dark. It has no windows. It is what you call pitch black. Now, you couldn't shovel out that darkness, of course, could you?
No.
You couldn't because, as a matter of fact, darkness does not exist. Darkness is only the absence of light. Well then, fear too is only the absence of the knowledge of the present existence of the living God law.
And of course, without fear, all obstacles can be overcome, no matter how great. All problems can be solved, conquered, or removed.
Truer words were never spoken.
Dr. Robinson, you have given us a message of power today, a new meaning for the understanding of God. As we go our way, would you please play one song to make this day completely full?
Yes, that request is gladly granted. I often sit here alone, playing my pipe organ. The power of its melody brings me closer to every one of my students. I feel their faith, and it spurs me on with an eagerness to reach every traveler on the troubled pathway of life.
Let your songs pour out in gladness then, reaching with a glorious voice all who seek the truth. And as you play, I'm going to read your personal message, your words addressed to all earnest seekers of the truth. Whoever you are, whatever you want to become, Dr. Robinson has this message for you. He wants you to know that no matter how rocky and jagged the road you traverse, no matter how stormy the sea of your life, there is a power near you now, a divine power you may draw upon for life's spirit and sustenance, for material and spiritual fulfillment. You can discover this power if you will write to Dr. Robinson at Moscow, Idaho, for his free 6,000-word digest, pages filled with vivid realities and the story of Psychiana. At no cost to you, a 6,000-word digest will be mailed along with a picture of Dr. Robinson in person as he sits here at the console of his own magnificent organ. Now, in the words of Dr. Robinson, may the spirit of eternal peace and power abide with you forever.
The key to a richer life is in your hands. Take it and unlock the door to all the happiness you can use. Unlock the door by simply sending a postcard to Dr. Frank B. Robinson, Moscow, Idaho, or to the station which brings you this message of hope and encouragement. You will receive immediately a handsome photograph of Dr. Robinson and the 6,000-word digest, which describes the very first revelation of the power of Psychiana. These will be sent at no cost to you if you write today to Dr. Frank B. Robinson, Moscow, Idaho, spelled M-O-S-C-O-W, or in care of this station.
The dawn of civilization. Down through the ages of weary advance, the questing, eager face of mankind has turned again and again to the light, up to the limitless stars, always in search of some mighty power which could enrich and sustain life. How sure this instinct is, we shall learn as this transcribed message of dynamic power unfolds. For out of the chasm of the void has come the surging strength of the new conception of the God realm, a message of peace, happiness, and abundance of material and spiritual blessing. Time after ageless time, the constellations have wheeled in their orbits, and always the power of the mighty God law has been present, ready to supply mankind with all that the heart holds dear, but the way had not yet been opened. Today, we bring you the actual voice of Dr. Frank B. Robinson, the humble drug clerk to whom the secret of the God law has been made plain. Through an application of its principles, Dr. Robinson has risen to become a preeminent psychologist, founder of the new scientific teaching, Psychiana, and teacher and friend to thousands in all corners of the globe. He speaks to you today, inviting you to attune yourself with the dynamic principles which can make your life over and give you everything you would have. You will now hear Dr. Frank B. Robinson in person.
I do not know how preeminent a man I may have become. I assure you, if I have, it has not been of my seeking. I am far more interested in you than I am in myself, because no man can experience the power of the great invisible cosmic God realm without experiencing a heart-throbbing desire to tell others. I know, too, that sooner or later light must be thrown on the situation or the candle will go out. It may be difficult for you to grasp what I mean by a dynamic power, which you can direct upon your own problems. But this power does exist, has always existed. It is as real as radio or electricity. All that is needful is that you use it. And I say this especially to a listener in Flint, Michigan, who has written me this letter. Dear Dr. Robinson, I am in serious trouble. One of life's greatest problems is facing me, and I think you will be able to guide me in working out the solution. My husband, who is a mechanic, has never made a decent living. We have had serious disagreements. I cannot make him see my way. He scoffs at my beliefs, yet I know he needs the truth as much as I do. I want so much to be able to show him the mighty operating law. But his mind does not run that way. I know that if he could once feel the way I do about the God realm, we could work out of our difficulties and straighten out our financial problems together. Isn't there something I can tell him that will satisfy his thoughts about this, so that we will both be happier? I can feel that these laws are true, but he wants proof. Thank you, Dr. Robinson, in advance. I am, sincerely, B. K. My dear Mrs. K., I'm very glad indeed that you came to me with your problem, because I feel absolutely certain that I can help you out and do it very easily. You state that your husband is a mechanic, and that makes my task all the easier, because I know that certainly he will be interested in what I'm going to say to you now. Perhaps the greatest discovery of the past decade is the discovery of the cosmic ray. Professor Millikan of the California Institute of Technology has done more to throw light on these great rays than any other one man. There is a lot we do not know about them yet, but there are some things we do know, and those things we do know are mighty important. Now it is a definitely established fact that these cosmic rays permeate the entire interstellar space. No one knows where they originate, nor does anyone know why they are there. We do know, however, that these rays are bombarding this Earth every second of the day and night with an energy of more than 15 million volts. Now, Mrs. K., ask your husband to study over that statement for a little while. It isn't theory. It is a definitely proven fact that these cosmic rays do, even at this moment as I am speaking to you, bombard this Earth with an energy of over 15 million volts. You saw in the newspapers recently where Professor Pickard went into the stratosphere with his balloon solely to examine and discover more about this great cosmic ray. Personally, I have heard these rays clicking in an electric light globe, so there's no question whatever about their existence. Now, think this over. These rays exist. They fill all space, even out yonder billions of light years away. They are even in the very air we breathe. So, you are practically living in the middle of an ocean of cosmic energy that permeates all space. No man alive can state that this is not the truth. Now, let us suppose for just one moment that these electrical or cosmic rays, whichever you choose to call them, might be thinking rays, then what? Would not that prove that we live in an atmosphere and in a universe which is filled and charged with cosmic energy? Of course it does. Sir James Jeans, the famous English scientist, claims that these rays are emanations from a universe which is disintegrating, while Professor Millikan states that the rays are emanations from a universe which is building up. Personally, I lean to the latter theory. I believe very definitely that there is in the atmosphere all around us, permeating all space, a great cosmic intelligence which is there for our absolute use and disposal. Look at the building in which you reside. What was it originally? Where did it come from? It first originated in the mind of the architect. He first drew a mental picture of the finished structure. Then he transferred that mental image to a piece of paper, and a blueprint was made of it. That piece of paper was handed to the builder and the contractor, and they in turn laid brick upon brick, stone upon stone, exactly in accord with the mental image the architect had in the first place. That isn't hard to see, is it? Now let us suppose that every created thing first had its origin in this unseen cosmic realm. Do you not see what a stupendous power that puts into your hands and mine? Suppose it is possible for you and for me to draw a cosmic mental picture, we will say, of the very things we need, and leave it then for the cosmic realm to bring them into existence. Do you not see how correct my theory of the realm of God really is? Of course you do. And you must see, you must know, that this very moment you are existing, day by day, in a realm of infinite power that is capable of bringing into existence every right desire of your life.
This revolutionary conception of universal law that Dr. Robinson has just told you about is but an illustration of the tremendous scope of Psychiana, a power which you can use to accomplish any right thing you desire. Knowingly or not, great men of all ages and times have made use of the pulsating, radiant power of the God realm, the cosmic impulse which can help irresistibly toward any end. Now the way has been made plain for you. You can, by an application of the principles of Psychiana, attain material and spiritual richness beyond your dreams. Listen to the testimony of one man who has learned only a little part of this great philosophy, a man in Holland. Dr. Robinson, last week I happened to read your book, The Secret of Realization. Being myself a literary man, sworn translator, English, German, and French, and an ex-secretary to the late William J. Stead during the Second Peace Conference at The Hague in 1907, I can state that you have not only shown a clear understanding of the living God and of the cosmic ray, but you have made others catch it also. As you, I also am a son of a minister, and though my father was a modernist, I never felt satisfied and have been a searcher for the truth for many long years. Your message is a wonderful revelation to me. Signed, W.J.M. If you would achieve a spiritual kinship with this new power Dr. Robinson has just told you about, write to him now. His mission in life is to spread the ability of men to use these cosmic powers of the God realm, so that unhappiness and want may be forever banished from the earth. Anyone, no matter how humble he may be, no matter how great his burden, can use Psychiana to bring about the peace and abundance of material and spiritual riches, which is the right of every human being. A simple letter to Dr. Robinson can change your life from defeat to triumphant victory. Just write to him, mentioning the station to which you are listening, either to his home in Moscow, Idaho, or in care of this station, and he will send you free a 6,000-word treatise telling of the dawn of Psychiana. In addition, you will receive a large photograph of Dr. Robinson seated at the console of his own pipe organ in the palatial home, which is but one of the material blessings he has received through the application of the God law. Feel free to write to him about your problems, your desires. He's willing and eager to help you, and he can help you. For the great universal laws of the God realm cannot fail. Dr. Robinson will now leave with you a few parting thoughts. Ponder on them. Carry them with you until the next time the voice of this great religious leader reaches you.
Would you perish of thirst with a crystal fountain flowing close at hand? Would you starve before a banquet table? Will you continue to live meagerly, meanly, when the way is open for you to enjoy life's full richness through the abiding, eternal, transcendent power of the God realm? Let me help you. I can show you the way to all in the world you want, to new happiness through the cosmic power that has been revealed.
Remember the address, Dr. Frank B. Robinson at Moscow, Idaho, spelled M-O-S-C-O-W, or write in care of this station.
A dreamer, but deep within the heart of you remains a lonely note, ready to burst into a new song of happiness, should it be offered faith. Then listen to these glad tidings. There is a spot we know not far away where you can find strength and courage. It is the home of Dr. Frank B. Robinson, noted psychologist and founder of Psychiana. Today, your guide will lead you there, to Moscow, Idaho. As you hear the actual voice of Dr. Robinson, remember that wise is he, too, in suffering, doubt, and loneliness. There have been hard roads for him, yet he has found the solution. He has traversed life into peace, just as you may do if you will turn your thoughts with us on this transcribed journey to Dr. Robinson's Sanctuary of Relief.
We are now in Moscow, Idaho. There, just a few paces away, is the home of Dr. Robinson. Its peace permeates into the very fiber of you. You feel a sense of awe. Surely care and strife have never touched this spot. Yet as we walk slowly along, the very breezes whisper, "Come with your cares. Peace lies just ahead." Do you too feel a thrill of anticipation? Can this man know the solution to your suffering? Let no doubt assail you. Listen. Softly the organ music leads us on to an open door, there is the home of Dr. Frank B. Robinson. He sits musing at the console of his mighty organ. On wings of song, he sends out his message of the mighty power of the living God realm. Let us stand here quietly a moment. Do you feel a strength in this place, too? Life seems to hold some promise now, Dr. Robinson.
There is always promise in life. Welcome to my home.
Thank you, Doctor.
If you have problems that trouble you, you may have come to the right place. Others have traveled here dismayed to go on anew along a fresh path. Perhaps we can help you start again toward your hopes, just as others have done.
We have heard of and talked to so many people who have found peace and happiness through you, Dr. Robinson. How can we learn your courage? It seems so definitely a part of your strength. Yet, that is what we have been blindly searching for.
You are like a ship being tossed about by the winds and the waves of the troubled sea.
I suppose you'd call that being a misfit.
Every human life without the motivating and guiding power of the great God realm is what I call a misfit. Lost on the seas of doubt and despair, without a rudder, drifting helplessly, buffeted by every wind and blow. It has no known destination. It couldn't be anything else but a misfit. But put a pilot on board and put a rudder on that ship, and notice how straight a course will be steered direct to the nearest port.
And that same thing applies to human life.
Applies, yes, prior to the recognition of the infinite Spirit of God in that life. If you have no objectives, if you do not know where the ports lie, if you know nothing of the hidden dangers beneath the surface of the ocean, how easily can your vessel become shipwrecked by striking a hidden or submerged rock? But, attuned to the God realm, just see how easily you glide into the harbor of your dreams. See how your dreams become living, moving realities. This is what happened to a student in Jackson, Tennessee, who wrote me this letter. It's rather an amusing letter, but it does show the joy and peace which comes into a human life when that life finds the truth of the present existence of the God law.
I'd like to hear that letter, Doctor.
All right. She writes, Dear Dr. Robinson, I have never been so thrilled in all my life. In fact, I weigh 196 pounds, and there is not enough room in me to hold all the joy and gladness that has come into my life with my understanding of the God law.
Tell me, Dr. Robinson, will that happiness continue through the years?
It will not only continue, it will grow. After a while, it will settle down into a great infinite peace, and this student will experience at her right hand a great power which she will be able to use whenever she feels like it.
Why is that, Doctor? What is the explanation of it all?
This lady has experienced the first great joy of knowing that the invisible power of the God realm exists here and now and can actually be contacted and used by her. Quite naturally, she's happy. How would you feel if you knew that close at hand there exists a great spiritual power which is God and which can be used by you in the accomplishment of every right desire?
That would be a marvelous motivation, Doctor, but the attainment of that end, isn't it a long, hard road?
Not at all. If you will notice on these letters here, they're all dated 1938, all very recent letters. Here's one from a woman in Pascoag, Rhode Island, by the way, who writes, I used to want something very badly, and then I would be told by others that it was silly, that there was too much competition, or that such a thing could not be done. Then it seemed I would be more determined than ever, and not only wish for it to come true, but actually believe and never doubt but what it would. And whenever I desired a thing long enough and believed without doubting, I always seemed to get it.
And how would you explain that, Dr. Robinson?
It has been said that desire and accomplishment itself are but different ends of the same piece of string. The fact that the desire exists at all is absolute proof that the desire can of itself supply the answer. Desire is only evidence of a lack. It was never meant for you or me to lack anything which is for our own good or for the good of others.
I notice a letter here from Moundsville, West Virginia, a quite recent dateline.
Yes, that letter is from a young girl who has a very interesting story to tell. She says, "My dear Dr. Robinson, I struggled for years with the belief that I was a sinner because I could not feel towards certain ideas the way my friends did. I have been studying metaphysics for several years and feel that all this time I have been laying a firm foundation for the discovery of the power of the God realm as you teach it."
How did you answer that girl, Doctor?
I told her I was pleased, of course, that she was on the road to the discovery of the God law. I told her how it was necessary for me to forget the beliefs of hundreds of years ago before I could realize that right here and now there exists a complete and abundant supply of everything I could ever wish to possess. Everything you see here, this beautiful home, this fine organ, the Robinson Professional Building, the Daily News Review, the exclusive prescription pharmacy, all these are living proof of what the God law can do for all who will give it an opportunity.
Am I to understand that you teach the present existence of a spiritual power so dynamic that it can bring to this entire human race here and now an abundance of material as well as spiritual supply?
That is my entire philosophy.
And all these letters you've been reading are from people who are discovering such actual benefits here and now.
You can answer that best yourself. Read this letter. The man who writes is student Lee Gordon.
Lee Gordon from New York. Dear Dr. Robinson, I thank God that all through these years I was fortunate enough to fall into the hands of such a wonderful teacher. My health has improved considerably in these past 7 years, both spiritually and mentally. I understand more each day about the God law, things I did not know before, and I will praise Psychiana wherever I go.
Now I'd like to have you read what Tommy Burns wrote to me.
Oh, you mean the world's ex-heavyweight champion?
That's the man. Now read the letter.
My dear Dr. Robinson, the mighty God power of the universe is working wonders for me. I have 2 boys that I am training. I hope to have a world champion boxer in time. I'll have the power of the universe behind them. We are all very happy in our work.
And just as surely as this new revelation of God is working for him, it will work for you.
I suppose hundreds of thousands of men and women all over the world are writing to you for information regarding Psychiana, Dr. Robinson.
One day last month, in one day only, over 3,700 free lectures left our international headquarters in Moscow, Idaho. Now that's a lot of free lectures to send out in less than 8 hours. Tens of thousands of others are writing to tell me of the wonderful revelation this teaching has given them.
When there are so many thousands, it just can't be a coincidence, can it?
If there was ever any doubt in my mind as to the present existence of this dynamic God law, that doubt is very effectively banished by these letters.
And it must make you very happy, Dr. Robinson, to know that thousands are at last discovering that man can now talk with God.
Not only that man can talk with God, but being able to do that, they can bring to themselves and their families whatever they need for their complete happiness, both spiritually and materially.
These are wonderful words, Doctor. You know, as we approached your home today, our souls were heavy laden. All feeling of despondency has vanished now, and we're eager to move forward that others too may learn of your wondrous teachings. Before we go on, may we ask one more favor? Would you play again an organ melody like the one that lifted our spirits as we came in?
It's always a pleasure to play for you, Bob, and for all my friends.
And as the mighty organ pours forth its powerful, moving melody, may I take this opportunity to present your personal message to all who seek the power of the God law, the power that is revealed in Psychiana. Dr. Robinson personally wants you to know, whoever you are, whatever you want to become, that this power is yours if you but grasp it and learn its meaning. Nothing can sway the truth of this mighty God realm. No prayers are too great for its comprehension. You may be a lonely sheepherder on the African veldt, or a stricken invalid, hopeless in the depths of despair. Remember, this power is for everyone. It is beside you now, and will bring life, spirit, and sustenance. Just address a postcard to Dr. Frank B. Robinson, Moscow, Idaho, and he will send you free his 6,000-word digest, pages filled with vivid realities and the thunderous message of the mighty God law. Dr. Robinson will also send you personally a picture of himself as he looks now, seated at the console of his own magnificent organ. Just a postcard or a letter, if you choose, will bring this generous offering. Address, Dr. Frank B. Robinson, Moscow, Idaho. And as Dr. Robinson says, may the spirit of eternal peace and power abide with you forever.
The key to a richer life is in your hands. Take it and unlock the door to all the happiness you can use. Unlock the door by simply sending a postcard to Dr. Frank B. Robinson, Moscow, Idaho, or to the station which brings you this message of hope and encouragement. You will receive immediately a handsome photograph of Dr. Robinson and the 6,000-word digest, which describes the very first revelation of the power of Psychiana. These will be sent at no cost to you if you write today to Dr. Frank B. Robinson, Moscow, Idaho, spelled M-O-S-C-O-W, or in care of this station.
Are about to begin a journey, a wonderful adventure, but all must be quiet and peaceful, your thoughts at rest. Just for a moment, let this transcribed program call to your mind a picture. Think of those simple, beautiful birds which at signs of spring fly to the golden grain fields way up north, the wild geese. What governs that flight? What mighty power keeps those graceful creatures from going astray? Down deep inside, you know. It's an immutable, unchanging law that cannot misdirect. It is a God law. Soon you will hear the actual voice of the noted psychologist and great leader, Dr. Frank B. Robinson, who has applied the truths of this God law to his own life for the accumulation of everything in the world he wanted. Dr. Robinson has already shared these truths with an anxious, waiting world, so that today, thousands in every civilized country on the globe know that the powerful force pervading this universe, here and now, actually works in definite, tangible results. And now, Dr. Robinson stands waiting at the portals of radio to welcome you as an honest seeker of the truth. Dr. Frank B. Robinson.
It is a distinct pleasure, I assure you, to share my discovery with you, as I have already shared it with countless thousands throughout the entire world. I feel that it is my obligation, as well as my wholehearted desire, to reveal to you this mighty operating law, which in itself is a vast, boundless ocean of supply. The dynamic truth of this teaching has swept round the world into 67 different countries. Here I have a letter from South Devon in England. It's a questioning letter which begins, Dear Dr. Robinson, I have always been a student, serious-minded, eager and willing to learn about everything I could get my hands on. Electricity and radio particularly interest me. But it occurs to me that although electricity and radio have only just been discovered, they were always here, for millions of years. Only we didn't have the power to know or understand this. Well, Doctor, I guess that's the way I am. There's something lacking in my life, but I don't have the power to know what it is. I know that near at hand is a solution if I could just grasp the significance. Can you help me in finding the truth that I must know? Now, in answer to this letter, I can say that the first step on the highway to success is for a person to realize that there is something lacking in his life. And I'm very glad that you have come to that place. When men or women feel self-sufficient, when they feel that their life and everything about them is perfect, then, of course, there's nothing I nor anyone else can do for them. But when you realize that there is a serious lack existing in your life, then immediately I can begin to point out the way, and more than that, I can show you why that lack exists. It may be a lack in education. It may be a financial lack. It may be a mental lack. It may be in any one of 100 different ways. But if it exists and you recognize it, that is all that is necessary. From that point on, you may begin to replace this lack of things with an abundance of things. Yes, the electrical waves which carry the radio have always existed, but man knew nothing of them. It took Mr. Marconi to come along and demonstrate the fact that these laws and waves did exist, just as it took Mr. Edison to come along and actually manifest and demonstrate that electricity existed. As a matter of fact, I'm given to understand that in the first city in which Edison's electric light was served, some of the natives thought that Mr. Edison was possessed of a demon, or he could not have made such a thing as electricity. Yet we know now that electricity has existed from time immemorial. What we did not know was how to use it. The world was not ready for it. But when the world did need it, when the world needs anything, then that need is supplied. The old savages 2,000 or 3,000 years ago wouldn't have had any use for electric lights, and the radio would have scared them out of their skins. But not so today. When the world was ready for the demonstration of both radio and electricity, men arose to give both of these to the world. And that same thing applies with spiritual power. If ever this world needed and was ready for spiritual power or some manifestation of the unseen realm, that time is now. And unless someone does arise with a new vision of spiritual power, then this world has not a very rosy future. But there are those of us who have caught a glimpse of the amazing possibilities and opportunities which lie close to the hand of every man and woman, if that man and woman can but recognize them. For just as surely as radio and electricity existed for the past millions of years, then let me say to you that a dynamic, spiritual, invisible power also exists and has existed all through those same years, just as long as the human race has been on the face of the earth. For some reason or other, we've missed it. And yet I see all over the world today signs of men and women recognizing for the first time what this power is and what it can do for them. Does this great living God law operate for all in the same manner? I say unhesitatingly yes. Being a law, it cannot fail. It works alike for all. If you take 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen, you always get water. It doesn't make any difference whether you chemically combine these atoms at the North Pole or the South Pole. Wherever they are combined, then always there is water. It is the same thing in a human life. Whenever a human life recognizes and uses this unseen spiritual power, peace, success, and happiness always follow.
Then there is a meaning to life, a living, moving reality, and discovering it is a fascinating adventure. Think, the very means which brought into existence this entire universe are the means you can learn to use to bring into existence the right things you desire. The same mighty operating law that directs the flight of the wild geese to a safe destination, that directs all successful human lives, exists for you too, right here and now. The moment you learn how to apply this law, the moment will the God law begin showering you with the wonderful blessings you have dreamed of. Listen, here's what one of Dr. Robinson's friends in far-off Australia writes. Dear friend and teacher, yes, the God law works. It's the most stupendous truth I've ever known. I cannot remember ever being fully satisfied until now. Again, I want to thank you for what Psychiana is doing for me. The tide has turned at last, and I feel like living again. Yours sincerely, signed EML. But wait, friends. Do you think that these truths were meant to be discovered and bring success to others, not to you? No, they were meant for you too. They stand by waiting for you to master the secret of drawing upon them for what you need. Dr. Robinson himself has mastered the secret and has gained spiritual and material blessings. How? By discovering the source of supply and using it. A mighty operating law which is like a spring whose waters cannot fail. Right now, nestled among the hills surrounding the little town of Moscow, Idaho, Dr. Robinson lives in peace, contentment, and material abundance. This home, yes, and his own pipe organ are actual evidence of the application of the dynamic law of life. You can see him seated at the console of his luxurious organ yourself, because Dr. Robinson will send you a large photograph taken in his home. But more than that, this noted psychologist welcomes you to the study of the great God realm. Write him your problems. Write to him now. And in return, he'll send you a 6,000-word free treatise, an enthralling story of amazing, staggering import, pages filled with vivid realities. He will enclose a photograph of himself seated at his pipe organ. Dr. Robinson asks you simply to send him the name of the station to which you are listening. A postcard will do, and return mail will bring you news of a richer life and of the power of Psychiana to help you as it has helped so many thousands of others, as it helped Dr. Robinson himself. Dr. Robinson will now leave with you a few parting thoughts. Ponder on them. Carry them with you until the next time the voice of this great spiritual leader reaches you.
With this vision of the mighty operating law clearer to you and nearer to you, perhaps now you can understand why I feel a deep sense of obligation. I must pass on my revelation of the great God law which has so ably supplied me. I will gladly help you make the discovery, and when this happens, it will do the same for you that it has done for me, and the spirit of eternal peace will abide with you forever.
The key to a richer life is in your hands. Take it and unlock the door to all the happiness you can use. Unlock the door by simply sending a postcard to Dr. Frank B. Robinson, Moscow, Idaho, or to the station which brings you this transcribed message of hope and encouragement. You will receive immediately a handsome photograph of Dr. Robinson and the 6,000-word booklet which describes the very first revelation of the power of Psychiana. These will be sent at no cost to you if you write today to Dr. Frank B. Robinson, Moscow, Idaho, spelled M-O-S-C-O-W, or in care of this station. As an army, terrible with banners, sweeping before it the black shades of night, routing despair, comes the flaming truth of the God law. Why do you suffer the indignities of life when you can control life? Your fate is in your hands now, for at last the way is open if you will but take it. When Dr. Frank B. Robinson first realized the dynamic implications of Psychiana, he was in debt, a humble drug clerk with no future, no hope. Now he possesses all that he wants of wealth. His mind is at peace, and he is accorded praise and renown as an outstanding and famous psychologist. The same forces that raised him out of the depths to stand on a high plane among men can be put to work for you. It doesn't matter what your condition, how much you have, how much you know. The same surging, pulsing power that was unleashed when Dr. Robinson first saw the power of the God law can enter into your life and your spirit and make you whatever you want to become. Are you poor? The irresistible power of the God realm can give you abundance of material possessions. Are you unhappy? There is a great peace in Psychiana. Does the way seem confused? Does life withhold its secrets? Through the power of the cosmic forces, man can now talk with God. Throughout the world, in 67 countries of the earth, the eternal truths have spread, and thousands raise their voices in blessing that at last the light has pierced through the veil of blackness, that man is at last liberated to live a life of fullness, of realization. The power that works for thousands can work for you. It is the same dynamic power that spins the stars in their orbits, the same power that wheels the galaxies into the birth of new worlds, the same power that illuminated the mind of Edison, of Marconi, of Michelangelo. With it, you can become what you will. Ask, and it shall be given. For Dr. Robinson is waiting eagerly to help you find the truth through kinship with the God realm. As the organ plays a brief transcribed interlude, consider what you would ask of life. Then listen for the actual voice of Dr. Frank B. Robinson, founder of Psychiana. Dr. Robinson.
I am looking back today for a little while over a period of about 9 or 10 years. There I was, a humble drug clerk, no future, no hope, 43 years of age, and nothing to show for those 43 years. But from my very earliest childhood, there had always been a desire to know the things pertaining to the great God realm. I just instinctively seemed to know that there did exist, and must exist, a power here and now which could do for me the things I wanted done, but yet could not do for myself. I shall never regret the day I first put this great God power to the test. What happened, you say? Well, first of all, I knew I was a changed man. Where before had existed in my life nothing but thoughts of failure, these were immediately replaced by thoughts of success. Then, in less than 1 year, 67 different countries knew my message. Today, well, it is hard to estimate how many students have studied with me all over the world. I wish at this moment that I could be with you in person, that I might urge you with all the earnestness at my command to consider whether you are satisfied with life as it has existed for you today. Are you satisfied with a lack, with a shortage? Are you satisfied with the discomforts of life? Or is your life abundantly happy, healthy, and prosperous? Go out under the stars some evening. Surely you will recognize the fact that the stars spin in their orbits, yet never do they collide. What manner of intelligence is this? What manner of power? Well, surely the intelligence which in the first place created and which moment by moment sustains yon celestial bodies in the heavens above can at least give you and me the few little things we need to make our lives full of happiness, peace, and abundance here and now. What a pity that we have lived in ignorance of this power to date. Limitations? No, not in the spiritual realm, for limitations cannot exist there. An abundance of power, you ask? Yes, all the power you can ever need. And why? Just simply because this is a divine power. It is the power which created this universe in the first place, and which, more than that, created you and me. And do you not think that the power which created you and me knows how to sustain us? And still more than that, knows how to bring to each one of us the things we need? I think it does. I know it does. I just wish you could see the changed lives I've seen in the past 9 or 10 years. You ask me if these lives have been changed through a change in mentality, and I say most emphatically not. These lives have been changed because the owners of those lives knew that there exists a power, a spiritual power, which can take complete charge of a human life, and regardless of how empty it has been to date, can bring into that life an abundance of peace, happiness, and material as well as spiritual supply.
There isn't one of you who has heard Dr. Robinson today who hasn't at some time stopped to wonder what life is all about. How does it happen that we are here? And since we are, why aren't we all supremely happy? Why do such things as poverty, disease, sickness, unhappiness, crime, why are they permitted to exist? Simply because we do not or will not understand the great laws that govern all creation. If we but knew, if we but could but put ourselves in communication with the dynamic power of the God impulse, establish intelligent communication with the source of power, we could abolish all this. And we could direct our steps into a brave new world where such things as poverty and suffering were impossible. You can have anything in life that you want and have it most abundantly if you will but stretch forth your hand to seek the pulsing, dynamic power of the God realm. It is all around you as you listen to it. Its mighty impulses are pulsating through your being right now, going to waste because you're not in tune with the God law. Those same dancing flashes of power can perform miracles for you, can raise you to high places, can overwhelm you with an abundance of worldly possessions, can enter into your soul with the peace that passeth understanding. Dr. Robinson will now leave with you a few parting thoughts. Ponder on them, carry them with you until Dr. Robinson joins you again.
My hands are reaching out to you, wherever you are, with the key to all of life's joy and richness. Won't you come the small rest of the way? Won't you let me help you? Write to me. Tell me what you want, and I will tell you how the great God law can bring it to you.
The key to life is in your hands now. Won't you enter into a fuller life? the life that is your right as one of God's creatures, all you need do is send a simple letter or card to Dr. Frank B. Robinson at his home in Moscow, Idaho, or to the station which brings you this transcribed message. Remember the address, Dr. Frank B. Robinson, Moscow, Idaho, spelled M-O-S-C-O-W, or in care of this station.